Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Meet Me at the Spot. I'm your host, Holly, and this week I am so excited for you all to hear my conversation with Essence. So, I want to share a little backstory. I had posted a little teaser post about season 3 getting ready to start, and Essence had commented that she was really excited to listen and tune in, and that she was manifesting being a guest on the show. I messaged her immediately and I was like, manifest no more, my friend. Let's do this thing. We had such a great conversation and I'm really excited to share it all with you. Essence, who's also known as the sex enthusiast on all social media platforms, is a young single mother navigating the world and sharing her discovery of self, sexuality, and wellness on the internet with followers from around the world. She is a lover of pleasure and self-care and determined to show the world that you can be STI positive and still receive love and pleasure through her work as a herpes advocate on social media. She brings personal knowledge and experiences, all while educating and entertaining with her content. So let's go ahead and jump right into my amazing conversation with Essence. Welcome, Essence, to the podcast. I am so excited.
Me too. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I know a little bit about you on social media, but for all the listeners, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, what you're all about.
Hello, everyone listening. My name is Essence. I am a mother. I'm an author because I'm currently writing a book. I am a herpes advocate and a sex lover. My platform is really just taking the shame and stigma out of talking about sex or STIs and sharing those vulnerable experiences and moments with yourself, with your family, with your partners. Like, it's not a big deal unless you make it one.
Yeah, I love that. So the first question I always like to ask folks is what really kind of got you started in this work and really passionate about the work that you do?
I was thinking about that earlier. Honestly, I think it took me about 4 years to get to this point. I take that back. It's probably about 5, maybe 6 years. It started with the initial herpes diagnosis. It
Mhm.
took me about a year to actually officially get diagnosed with an STI.
Mhm.
So it was a really strange process. Like, most people don't know what a herpes outbreak actually looks like. I was also one of those people that did was completely unaware of what they could look like. So when I had my very first one, it really seemed like it was just ingrown hairs. And
Mm.
then I went to 2 different doctor's offices to get tested, and at the time, I did not know that herpes was not on your standard STI panel, so I didn't know that I wasn't being tested for it at all. And the first place they tested me, and my results came back fine, of course, because they weren't testing for that and I didn't have anything else. But I just wasn't satisfied with that, with, what had happened during that experience. So that same day, I decided to go to emergency. And I finally had somebody look at me and like take a look at the area. And they said the same thing, like, oh, it's ingrown hair, so you'll be fine. And yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. Like, this is a medical institution. Why, like, do some medical stuff. So I just was not happy with that. I was in an extreme amount of pain and discomfort and I didn't know what to do, but I had like a sit down job and it's really uncomfortable. So I was like, something's got to shake. So on the Uber ride back to where I was staying, I was Googling a lot of stuff, doing some research on like natural remedies and putting in what my symptoms were. And herpes had popped up, but it wasn't something that was really on my radar. I'm like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. But I did some research and I stopped at CVS and I grabbed a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm in the bathroom, kind of like a mad scientist, making some stuff to help heal myself. And it worked. But I would say that was in 2019 when it started. My second outbreak happened in 2020. And it was the same thing, but it was way less severe. But by the time I was able to schedule an appointment, it was like 2 weeks out. And by then, my symptoms and my outbreak was gone. So there was no need for me to go and get tested because there was nothing to test. So the actual experience that led to me officially getting a diagnosis was I was entertaining someone that I shouldn't have. And the sex was terrible. It was very much trash. It was a lot of jamming and slamming going on. And I didn't feel well for the next couple of days afterwards. And I felt like what I would describe as a paper cut in my genital area, which was a new and very uncomfortable sensation. And I remember being afraid to go to the bathroom because it hurt a lot. And I was just like, this is not okay. So I was able to schedule like an emergency appointment. I lucked up and got an appointment for the following day.
Mm.
So I go and legs in the stirrups, glory all out in the open. And the doctor takes a look at me and she's like, "Do you have herpes?" And I'm insulted. I'm like, "Girl, what? Why would you ever ask me that?" It's like, of course I know. You can look at my history and see that I've never tested positive for it, but also that I've never been tested for it. So, unknown to me, I'm just like, no, I don't have herpes. But she's like, okay, well, we're going to test this because it kind of looks like a herpes outbreak. And I'm just like, yeah, sure. I just figured it was rough sex, but do what you got to do, ladies. It's like, I'm so arrogant in this doctor's appointment. I think that I know everything about my body. And I'm just like, there's no way that I would test positive for herpes. Unfortunately, I used to be one of those people. So I remember like 3 or 4 days later, I get a notification from my pharmacy. You have a new prescription. Okay. I'm thinking it's going to be a UTI medication or something like that. So I look at it and it says it's a prescription for valcyclovir. I'm just like, what the hell is that? I've never heard of that before. It's like, is this a new UTI med? So I Google it and it says antiviral herpes medication. And I'm like, y'all got me fucked up. Like, they had to mix it up with somebody else's test results. There's got to be like another essence that went to the doctor the same day as me. And it's just a mix up. And you know how they always say no news is good news. So I'm thinking these people haven't called me yet. So this must be a mistake. And literally, like an hour after I said that, they finally call me. The nurse practitioner calls my phone and she tells me that I've tested positive for herpes. And I'm just like, oh, Lord.
Wow.
Like, I don't know what to do with myself. And at the time, it really was a major adjustment for me. I did not know what to do with myself. And all of these things that I internalized about people with STIs started to bubble over. And it really made me feel sick about myself, about the situation that I was in, about other people that I had probably put at risk before I had finally gotten a diagnosis. So I like cocooned myself in my room. Like I stopped going to work. Like I sent my son to his dad because I was just like, I feel bad. Like, ooh, I'm about to cry about it. I really felt bad about it. And I remember talking to a wonderful person, a trusted person. You know who you are, you know that I love you. But I remember talking to them and they were just like, you are going to be okay. Like, I know it feels like it's the end of the world, but I promise you, this is the start of something even more beautiful for yourself.
Mm.
And I remember they pointed me in the direction of like finding people online who are open about their STI status and just open about talking about and educating people on sex in general. And I started following Shayna Singleton and Courtney Brain. I followed Trisha Wise, who goes by Safe Slut online.
Mhm.
I started following Belize Spivey and like a host of other amazing people who are in the STI advocate community. And through following them over like the last 3 or 4 years, it was really something that I fell in love with. And I wanted to know more about it. I wanted to dive into it and really educate myself on it. And over time, it really helped me release a lot of the shame and stigma that is attached to being an STI positive person. And I think it was 2023 where I was online. I was on my personal page at the time, and Dr. Pimple Popper had posted this video of this girl like messing with her lip. She had like this huge bump on her lip and she's like touching all over it. And the caption was like, I wonder what would happen if I pop it. And she stitched the video and she was like, "This looks like HSV. You shouldn't pop it because if you do, you could spread the virus to the rest of your face. And, just kind of leave it alone and let it die down naturally." So I remember leaving a comment on that because I went through the comment section and people were just being loud and ignorant as they always are.
Mhm.
And I remember just leaving a comment of like, herpes is normal. It's okay to have an STI. And if you do have herpes or any STI, it's not going to be the end of the world unless you make it that. Like, there are so many new advances and communities for support and education. Like, you can have a happy, healthy sex life, even with being STI positive. And that comment blew up. I remember getting a lot of likes, a lot of replies. There were people that wanted to go back and forth with me, some of them admitting that they worked in the medical field, but were miseducating people. And I replied, I'm like, "What hospital do you work at? Because you need to be reported." Like, I would feel so bad if somebody that I knew got sent to you and you were telling them this. Like, this is crazy. But I also remember receiving a lot of support and people sharing their stories of being STI positive and having a healthy lifestyle and a healthy sex life. And it lit a fire in me that I was like, you know what? I am tired of just hiding in the shadows. I am tired of people still being afraid to have sexual health conversations because they don't have the language or they don't have the confidence to have those conversations. And I was like, I want to do something about it. So I pulled my iPhone one day and I just hit record and I started posting stuff. And now I'm the sex enthusiast.
First of all, thank you so much for sharing all that and being so vulnerable. I get asked a lot by people about my feelings around like how many sex educators there are and people who talk about sex, and I'm like, the more the merrier, honestly, because first of all, we are the coolest community of human beings, and we all come at this topic in so many different ways. And
Mhm.
even if like there were five of us who all were coming at it this from the same angle, it's going to be different.
Yeah.
And we all reach different audiences, and some of our audiences overlap. And so there cannot be enough people who are just brave enough to talk about sex on the internet.
Okay.
And especially now, right? Like,
With our reproductive freedoms being under attack, it is crucial that now more than ever we find and create ways to keep the conversations going and keep the information accessible.
yeah, for me, like when these attacks started happening a few years ago and then definitely ramping up as of late, I'm that kind of petty person. I'm like, this just makes me want to do my podcast even harder. Like,
Oh,
I want to go even harder. I want to say things unhinged on the internet. Bring me in for a court case where I have to read this stuff out loud or hear some like old lawyer read like my post. I'm just gonna start going unhinged on the internet.
yeah.
But this little community that I've been able to start to cultivate and build just gives me so much hope and a good reminder of like, yeah, this is wild. And like we have community. Like we have folks, we have resources, we have the ability to put factual information out there, and we can still do that as our little act of resistance that's out there. But I love that you talk so openly um about your STI status, because not a lot of people do, because of that societal
Yeah.
like stigma and shame. I used to be a high school health teacher,
Mhm.
which was wild. And I would have kids all the time. They were like, "Oh my gosh, if I ever got like chlamydia, I would just die." I'm like, no, you wouldn't. Chlamydia is like, first of all, the likelihood of you getting chlamydia if you're sexually active is really high in this country. And
Yeah.
so, um, you would just take your medication. So, and it's
Right.
gone.
Take
Yeah,
the steps of being responsible beforehand, you can completely avoid that.
yes, yes. And because when we don't talk to kids about like using condoms, getting
Mhm.
regularly tested, ensuring that your partners are tested, and we make that so like hush, and it's not like. it's not sexy, it's not cool. I'm like, it's not sexy if you don't make it sexy. You know what I mean? Like you can
Right.
put condoms on in a real sexy way if you want to. Just don't use your teeth. I always tell people, I'm like, you see that in movies all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, you could tear the condom. Please don't do
And
that.
that's another thing is like the movies make sex look so ridiculous. Like it's not realistic at all. And that's what a lot of teens and young adults are trying to emulate in the bedroom. Like
Mhm.
I had someone recently, a 18-year-old who is out of the country, but he found my page and he started messaging me for like sexual health advice because it's not really available where he lives. And none of the other people that he's reached out to online are messaging him back about these things because there a lot of them a lot of people want to get paid for their time, which is totally understandable. So I took it upon myself to like, okay, because you are actively and desperately seeking out the correct information, I am not going to deny you what you need. If you can't get it anywhere else, I want you to be able to get it from me. That is what I'm here for. So we had a lot of conversation about his own personal journey and what his thoughts are about sex and sexual relationships. And we broke it down and talked about like the real aspects of what sex comes with. Like I'm having the kinds of conversations with peers and young adults that I wish that I had gotten when I was a teen.
Mhm.
Like the closest thing I got to a sex talk was you got your period, you can get pregnant, don't get pregnant.
Don't have sex. You can get pregnant and die. Like
Yeah.
I always think of
Like
that Mean
if
Girls.
you have sex, I'm gonna kick your ass or some shit like that. And it's
Yeah.
like, you're gonna beat me for doing what everybody else like. How I got here because of sex. What do you mean?
Yes. I know, right?
Right. But then now it's like totally off limits for me. It's forbidden fruit. And it's just like, okay, I don't want my child to grow up like that.
Mm-mm.
Like I am a firm believer in there's an age appropriate way to answer just about any question for anybody, including the children.
Mhm.
Like the more you try to make this information hidden or forbidden from them, the more that they're going to try to seek it out. So just you got to find the words. You got to figure out what they need to know right now versus what can come later down the line for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw a post online from a mom, and she was saying that like her 5-year-old son recognizes that he has a pee-pee, but when she was going to the bathroom, he noticed it looks different for you. And she was like, I don't know what to tell him that it's called. And I was so encouraged to see the comment section be like, it's called a vulva. Please stop also calling it a pee-pee. It's a penis, it's a vulva.
Yes.
And I even added to like this, these are tough words for parents who don't work in this field to say out loud. I said, get in front of a mirror and practice. Just practice saying head, shoulders, knees, toes, vulva, penis, anus. Like, just
Mm.
say it regularly and check your face and how your face changes when you say these words. It takes practice. I've been doing this work for almost 20 years. Like, when I first started, I couldn't say penis without laughing hysterically. Um, and I decided to be a health educator. I don't know why, but I
Yeah,
got
saying penis in front of a bunch of children is not any easier.
no. When I was student teaching, I told like my supervising teacher, and she was like, "Holly, are you serious?" I'm like, I know." She goes, "Well, tonight and in the next few days, I want you to just practice saying penis to as many people." And I was working at a part-time job, and a lot of my friends, it was at a bowling alley, and a lot of my friends bowled in the leagues there. And so I was like, "Hey, come here." I'm like, "I have to practice for my homework saying penis as many times as I can." And they were like, "The hell kind of homework? What school you go to?" So I did, and then after once I got through that, I had to teach the lesson to the eighth graders, and one of the words was penis. They were doing like a matching activity, and one of the kids said penis, and they all started to giggle, and I was like, all right, I know penis is a silly word, all right, but let's bring it back together. It's okay to laugh, but let's bring it
Yeah,
back together.
like so it's fluffernutter or
Yeah.
so like don't make it a big deal, guys.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, guys, calm down. It's not that serious. Internally, I'm like, don't laugh because then you'll lose it. You'll lose the
Mhm.
lesson is done. It's over at that point. But I'm mad at your story that you had to endure bad sex. I hate that for everybody. And people who are sexually active, I have yet to meet someone who's had sex who's had nothing but great, amazing sex their whole
Yeah.
life. I never once. Um, but this is what also happens when we don't talk about sexual health and we don't talk about pleasure, and the importance of pleasure. Like sex isn't like boom, 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 and then
Yeah.
it's done, right? Like, I mean, if
Like
that's what
there
you're
has to
into,
be rhythm and sensuality and motion and fluidity in it. It's like you can't just go bam, 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 bam. Like
yeah.
who's enjoying that besides you? Like
No, no, this is like a jackhammer situation. We're not trying to like break up some concrete.
yeah, it's like if you want to drill something, you can go outside, or I got this little drill in the house that you can use if you need. It's like I got some nails and we can hang some stuff up, honey. But you're not going to be doing all of that on me.
Yes. The other part of your story that I love is you advocating for yourself. And I always say, like, it sucks that people have to advocate so hard, especially women, especially Black women, right? Like in
Mhm.
this country, in the medical field, we know the statistics around and having to advocate and say, listen, I know that's what you're telling me, but I'm telling you you're wrong and you're not
Yeah.
right. I know my body. I heard you say you're like, I know my body. And it's like, and to know that, to advocate and to know how to do that, because that can be intimidating for a
Mhm.
lot of people, myself included. I'm like, oh, I know things about sexual health. But if my OBGYN were to tell me something, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, they know. They're a doctor. They know.
Right.
No.
And I've noticed that a lot in my personal life with like my family. I've had family members pass away because they were listening to their doctors, and the doctors either they definitely weren't listening to them, and they like kept placating or ignoring really serious health issues until it was too late. And then, now you're here to provide comfort for this person, but where was the service? Where was the testing? Where was the advocacy for your patient to get what they needed, or to take it a step further and make sure that they knew you have other options? If you don't believe what I'm saying, I would be happy to refer you to someone else if you want to go for more testing. And I refuse to be one of those people. I
Mm.
refuse to let anybody that I know and love be a victim or a statistic to one of those issues. Like I tell everyone all the time, like one of the things that I wish that I knew before entering into sexual relationships with anyone was that I have the right to advocate for myself and say no. Like consent is reversible. Like it can be freely given, but it can also be taken away. And I've ended up in a lot of situations where I've had sex when I did not want to have sex.
Mhm.
And I did it for my safety. I did it for my sanity. I did it for being scared or embarrassed or unsure about how I felt. Like I kind of want to, but I don't really want to do it right now. But he wants to, so I guess I can. Like, it should be fine. And I don't necessarily regret those experiences because it's gotten me to the point that I'm at now. But I definitely want to help other young people, because not just young ladies, young men, trans, non binary people, we all need to know that we have the right to advocate for ourselves in and outside of the bedroom, in and outside of the doctor's office, hell, in and out of your parents' house, wherever you feel like you need to advocate for yourself, honey, do it.
Yes. Yes. I always hear one of the biggest things is like, well, I have to have sex with them when they want to have sex because otherwise they're going to have sex with someone else.
Mhm.
Like, do you hear what you just said out loud? You know what I mean? And I get
Mhm.
it. Like, there's so much pressure. There's, you know, social media and all of these things. Um, but if I was in a relationship and thought, if I don't give my partner what they want, then they're just going to go find someone else. Bye.
I was in a situation like that with my son's father. I had just given birth to our son, and I'd probably say we had made it past the 6 week mark. And he really wanted to, but I really wasn't ready.
Mm.
And there was every now and then he would always want to, and I just would not, like, my libido was in the toilet.
Mhm.
And I remember him threatening with me with, like, if you don't, then I'm going to find somebody who will. And I didn't like that. I didn't like hearing that. And then, there's other stuff going on behind the scenes that make it seem like this could really be a thing. Like he's really going to go out here and find somebody. So we would do what we do, but I didn't enjoy it. I would literally be crying afterwards because it was not what I wanted and it was not enjoyable for me. And
Mm.
the fact that my partner did not care about whether or not I was enjoying it too, he just wanted to make sure that he got his. Like it took me a while, but I did leave that relationship because I did not want my child to see that that was an okay way to treat your partner.
Mhm.
Like I don't if there's anything, I'm definitely going to make sure that my son does not grow up to be a fuck boy.
Yes, you're doing
Not
it.
saying that his father is. Like, he and I have a decent co-parenting relationship now. We work really hard on parenting our child and giving our son the best that we can. But there was a time where he was not a good person. There was a time where I was not a good person.
Mhm.
So we live and we learn and we grow.
It's so common that I hear that, and it sucks when it's just like I'm that kind of person too. It's like I went through it. I'm stronger because of it. But there's a big part of my brain that's like, damn, I should not have had to have gone through that. I
Yeah.
should not have had to experience that. Also that like 6 week thing. I know for me after hell no. Hell no.
They be ready, just itching for it like they're fiends or something. Like, dude, chill out.
I don't
you
I
will you will be fine. Like I've gone close to a year without having sex at some point in
Yeah.
my life, like on multiple occasions, because I've been single since I left that relationship.
Mhm.
So there have been large chunks of time where I got men in my phone. I'm seeing people, we're dating and whatnot, but we are not hunching. I was like,
Mhm.
if that's what you want, then you are free to leave and go find it somewhere else, honey, because I'm not going to be rushed to the bedroom.
Mm. Yes. I love this empowerment. You get me like fired up. I'm like,
Yeah,
wow, we
I'm a
are.
Leo, so I'm a fiery person.
You're a
I'm
Leo?
doing my job.
Wait, you're a Leo too?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. When
Yes.
are you July or August Leo?
I'm an August Leo.
Same. When's your birthday?
August 7th.
I'm the 10th. This is why. This is why Leos, like everyone thinks like Leos do not get along with each other. I'm like, no, we are
Like
one
we
and
are
the
obsessed
same.
with each other.
Yes,
Like
we love each other. We like feed off of each other's energy. No, that's so funny. No, I just I love your story so much. And I love your energy so, so much. I want to ask,
Mhm.
what has your overall experience been like talking about sex on the internet?
It's actually been really fun.
Good.
I have to say, it's like I don't think that I've had a bad experience yet with being open about my story. There is literally nobody on this planet that can shame me about anything. It's like, honey, I am an open book. I will tell all my business before you ever get a chance to. It's like, and there is nothing that I am embarrassed about. Like, yeah, I did it. I'll do it again. Like and I did it, and not only did I do it, but I grew from it. I learned from it. Lived to tell the tale. Like I
Mhm.
am not afraid of backlash or anything like that, because that just goes to show that the work is necessary and needed, because there are still people out here who want to hide underneath shame and stigma. They want to judge other people. Like there are people that put so much value on their STI status. Clean. I'm clean. It's like, you're not a pot or a sock, babe. You are a person.
Yes.
Like, and then you put so much value on your STI status. How about you put some of that into your body?
Mm.
Like you're STI free, but you don't drink any water or not enough to hydrate yourself. You don't exercise. You don't read. You don't listen to people. You talk to them just to have a rebuttal. You don't actually practice listening to people. You don't have any real close, meaningful relationships with the people in your life. Like, okay, that's good for you that you're STI free. What else you got?
Hmm. Right. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, no, that's so true. And the whole like clean and dirty. I can't believe it's 2025 and we're still
Like,
having this.
that's where I'm at with this. Like, are we still on this? Like, I just saw that there was and I don't keep up with this stuff, but it always makes its way into my Explorer page. But it's like the baddies girls and stuff like that. I've been off women arguing on reality TV since like 2010. That is just like, get it off my TV, get it off the internet. It's like, we don't need to keep doing this. I don't know why this stuff sells. But one of the girls had like made posts talking about, I ain't never had blah blah blah. It's like, I'm clean. I'm clean. And it's just like, okay, you clean, but I bet your piss test isn't. Like, it's like you be smoking and drinking up a storm, honey. It's like your liver is dying. Like, I don't think your liver is clean, and that's probably what you need to be most worried about. Like, why are we still perpetuating this? And there's so many people in the comment like, "Ooh, I love her. That's my boo." And it's like, these are the people that we are making famous.
Hmm.
Oh my god, give me a mic. Let me
Hmm.
get on one of these shows. I'll be a baddie for a day if I get to put all you hoes in check. Like, it's like, I'm
Yes.
a baddie because I am unequivocally and unapologetically me. And
Hmm.
none of you bitches can do that.
Hmm.
Like, y'all out here with the surgeries and tattoos and the body suits and the diet pills and all of that stuff. I don't need to do none of that. I don't want to do any of that. And can't nobody tell me that I'm not bad.
It is never easy finding a spot to break for part one and part two. And this was no exception because our conversation, as you could probably already tell, was just magical. So, part two will be up next week. So, you'll have to check back here next week to hear the rest of my conversation with Essence. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Meet Me at the Spot. I'm your host, Holly, and this week is part two of my amazing conversation with Essence. If you did not listen to part one from last week, you're going to want to go back and listen to that because we pick up in kind of an awkward spot if you didn't listen to part one. So go do that, come back to part two, and check out the rest of my conversation with Essence. Okay, so we're best friends now forever. By the way, I'm like, I always joke and not joke on this podcast that I always say like I started a podcast so I could make friends as an adult.
Like, honestly, having this experience has had allowed me to connect with so many people, and just learning the art of conversation. And like, people always ask me like, what's your method? How do you get people to follow you or talk to you? And it's like, there isn't one. I just start talking. Like, if you want to talk to me, cool. If you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. I will find someone who will.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm like, what's your marketing technique? I'm like, I just post stuff that I like. I don't know. I'm bad at marketing myself. I'm terrible at it. I have no
It's
idea
like,
how to
I
do
feel
it.
like the best marketing is authenticity. It
Yeah.
is the way that you show up and show out for yourself by yourself.
Hmm.
Like, yes, I could sell a vibrator or sell some STI at home testing kits. I could sell this, that, and the third. But my particular platform, I don't really feel comfortable selling anything. At
Hmm.
some point, I will. But even when I do that, it'll probably be super cheap because I really want everybody to have access to this information. There's
Hmm.
so much good stuff, but it's behind a paywall. And a lot of people can't afford that. Like,
Hmm.
monthly payments or even like the yearly subscriptions. Like, I will say yearly subscriptions are a lot better than like a month to month thing. It allows you that one time fee, but then you have access to it for a whole year. So that's
Hmm.
great. But some people really don't have access to that. And I live in an area where like I have to drive at least 10-15 minutes to the closest grocery store, like a good grocery store.
Hmm.
And like they've put some in the hood areas that, but the quality of the food is mediocre. Like, yeah, they got fruits and vegetables, but everything is like wilted and spoiled and on its way out. It's not stuff that you really want to buy, or it's not being properly taken care of so that you want to buy that stuff.
Hmm.
So I apply that type of logic to what I do online. It's like, I don't want to have any more desert areas where you can't go and access this information. It's like, I don't see anybody in Cleveland that's really doing what I do. So I'm here to do it. I'm filling in and I'm bridging the gap. Like, I found some amazing organizations here, some incredible people here in the city that I love and support. And I appreciate their support of me. And we are collaborating together, and I'm putting people on to their information because why gatekeep?
Hmm.
Everyone should have the freedom in the information.
I absolutely agree. I see trainings or courses, I'm like, oh, that'd be so cool. And I'm like, now my bank account disagrees.
Yeah.
Nope. I wish I had that extra spending money, but it's part of the reason why I A, host this podcast, but B, working on my brand, that sex educator, trademark pending.
Yeah, love that.
Yes, I think it's important to have resources available to people. I think it's important that those resources be affordable for folks, and not put behind walls, or like you can only read the first couple sentences and you're like, this is exactly what I want to read. It's like, to read
Yeah.
the rest, you need to get a subscription. It's like, I don't want a subscription. I understand you need to make your money. I get it. And also, oh my gosh, why are we gatekeeping vital health information? Like,
Yeah.
why is that behind a paywall? I'm so sorry, but what?
It makes absolutely no sense to me. And like whenever I find something that feel is like truly helpful and informational, I make sure to try to hold on to that. I'm going to screenshot it and send it to myself in an email. Like I'll reach out to people like, hey, I saw this great article. You want to read it? Like it's like I'm spreading it around because I feel like that traction to people's websites, to people's blogs, to people's podcasts, it all helps go into allowing this information to be even more accessible, and it could potentially help them gain some more revenues. Like I know views and clicks definitely help pay the bills too, so if I can help make sure that somebody's getting some money off of this, yeah, absolutely. So but the charging thing is something that's like it makes me uncomfy.
I know. It does for me too. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could make this a business. And I'm like, I am not a business person. I'm not, because I want everyone to have this information. And also, it's a lot of time and energy. Like, people don't realize, like, I don't have any sponsorships or anything that funds this podcast. It's
Mhm.
100% me funding this podcast, right? And my website, all of the things. And people are like, yeah, but you don't really like do like a whole lot. It's like, first of all, rude.
Right.
I have to pay for a Zoom subscription. I have to pay to host my podcast on the internet. I have to pay for a website. I have to pay for all of these extra things. And then if I even want to try to get like promotional stuff, you got to pay to promote your ads and your stuff on the internet.
Mhm.
All of
And
that.
then
And
it goes beyond that too, because it's not just the monetary that you put into it, it's the energetic time that you put into it, the energetic currency that you put into something.
Mhm.
Like I just had to tell the same young person that I've been quote unquote coaching for at least 3 months now. We've been having regular conversation, but he'll message me like 3 or 4 different times a month to ask me questions, and we'll be going back and forth for hours, like a whole day. He's responding and asking me another question, and I'm responding. But a lot of this, because I love what I do so much and I appreciate the interaction, I'm researching a lot of this stuff so that I can make sure that I can give him the best advice on things. So I just had to tell him, I was like, honey, this is great and I appreciate you, but I might have to start charging you just a little bit for this. Like, I'm gonna make it cheap. I'm gonna try to make it affordable for you, honey, but I can't do this for free. And he told me, he was honest, and he was like, I really can't afford this. I'm a college student. I don't work, so I can't pay you. And I was like, I completely understand that this is not in your monetary budget right now, but it is not in my energetic budget to constantly answer multiple questions for you for free. It's like,
Mhm.
I'll do you a solid. You can get one question a month for free. Like, you ask me whatever you need, and I'll send you a list of whatever it is that you need or some resources that you can look at. But then that's it. Don't come asking me nothing else. You gotta wait till next month. So like
Yeah.
I still want to be a provider for him and a safe space for him, but I'm realizing now that with a lot of the opportunities that I'm getting, I've come to the realization that one, I am qualified to do what I do. I love what I do, and I put a lot of time and energy, and I give my all to what I do. Like even though I really only have time to do it in my spare time, in my free time, but when I get that time, I'm using it. So, with that being said, I got to start putting some value on myself and my knowledge. And I got to start charging folks a little bit, but like,
Mhm.
or not even charging them, but setting boundaries with them. It's like, I am willing to help. I am willing to look out for you. I am willing to do things for you to help you get what you need, but it's going to have to stop at a certain point. I'm only going so far, and I'm going to pass you the baton, and you have to carry the torch for yourself. That's the goal though. Like we want to be able to educate people and give them the safe space to ask questions, to get the information, but then I'm passing the torch. Now it is your turn. It is your responsibility to gain the confidence and the language and the knowledge that I'm giving you to go on about your life and implementing that stuff where it needs to be implemented. Don't just constantly rely on me to tell you what to say or what to do. Like, I want you to build that confidence up so that you can handle these experiences on your own. I've- that sounds very motherly.
Yeah. No, but that's the reality, right? It's like no person who does this work has the mental capacity, the energy, or the resources to handhold for an X amount of time, right? Like whatever that looks like for somebody. I cannot follow you around and like, oh, make sure, remember that thing we talked about the consent? Yep, make sure you
Yes.
do that.
Hmm.
Yep. Did you check if the condoms were expired? All right. Like I can't do that. I can give you the information, but then you have to take it and do with it and run your life. And I'm really glad that you brought up that emotional part of it too. Like it's not just like the things I have to pay for, but it's like the time when I do podcast interviews, when I have to do editing and all this stuff, that takes time away from my family, right? Like
Hmm.
my spouse is super, super supportive and understanding, but
Love and
like,
support starts.
yeah, I do. And I'm very, very lucky for that. And also like it is a lot of energy. Like, listen, everybody thinks Leos are just like, we're just go, go, go.
Yeah.
We are until we're not. And
Okay. Because
then
that battery be running out, honey. Like,
is yes. And after I do like interviews, I'm like, yes. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to just decompress for a minute before I move on to the next thing. I
hmm.
need to collect my social battery. But yeah, I mean, and it's a lot. It takes a lot out of you. And then going to edit and putting together social media stuff and staying on top of all of the craziness of the world that people are going to ask me a million questions about. So I want to make
Hmm.
sure I'm informed and keeping
Right.
others
Finding
informed.
content to create when you don't have anything locked down yet. It's like, what am I going to talk about today? I really don't know.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh. It's so, so, so real. Did you say in the beginning that you're working on a book? Did I hear you say that?
Yes, yes.
Oh, I was like, I thought I heard that. Let me come back to that.
And I appreciate you. Thank you for working that in.
Thank you. I got
But
you.
yes, so right now, and it's still in the works. It might actually break off into two different books now, based on some feedback that I've received. But I remember when I first started my page, I remember I was in a live that Shayna Singleton was doing, and there was somebody that was commenting about a situation they were in, and they did not know how to tell their partner that they had herpes. So there was a lot of people that were in the comments, sort of like shaming them or asking a lot of personal questions. And it's like, everybody can see this. Like, and I'm sure that they don't want to share their personal business with everyone right here, right now. So I sent her a direct message and I was just like, hey, if you'd like, I would love to be able to help you gain the information and the wording to be able to have a disclosure conversation with your partner. whenever you are ready. It doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be this year, but whenever you want to, you always have the right to reach out to me and we could talk about it. And we talked for, I want to say probably about an hour that day, where I asked her a lot of questions just to get like some background on her life and relationship with her partner, how long they had been together, and why she chose to keep her STI status a secret. And I remember she asked me at one point, "Do you think I should write him a letter?" It's like, I feel like that would be stupid. And I was like, well, hold on. When your partner texts you and they tell you that they love you feel that flutter in your chest, right? You feel the love through the phone, right? You know without a doubt that this person loves you and they mean what they say in that text, even just those three little words. So, why would it be weird or silly for you to write a letter and pour your heart into it? And even explain your STI status to that person through a letter, and they wouldn't feel the same emotions that you put into it. Like, don't cut yourself short like that. Like, it is not a bad idea. And if that is the way that you feel comfortable and confident with going through with disclosing your status, baby, go ahead. Like, I will help you write it out if you need to. I will give you a little template. This is a little starter idea, and you can take it from there if you want. But I remember after that conversation, like, I truly felt like I helped that person. I
Mhm.
truly felt that, walking away from that, whether they disclose or not, whether they go about it with a face to face conversation or a letter, I feel like I did something to help them gain the knowledge and the confidence to be able to do so, which is the whole goal of what I do. So I was like, this is perfect. Like, I want to do that again. It almost felt like a little rush, like, ooh, I want some more of that. So I started to write a guideline of like how to have a sexual health disclosure slash kink conversation with your partner, and listing like words and phrases to avoid, stop all the and ah, and don't feel like you have to be an encyclopedia for your partner and know everything about it. Definitely don't come without pertinent information, but don't
Mhm.
feel like you have to be the one to direct them to that. Because there was a time where I used to disclose and I used to be like, I'm so sorry. Like, I have to tell you that I have herpes, and I'm sorry if that makes you uncomfortable, or if that means that you don't want to be involved with me. Or I would be sending them, here's a link to a podcast, and here's a link to an article, and here's a link to this and to that, and you can go to the CDC website and da 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 da. And it's just like, hold on. I had to realize that it is not my responsibility to educate my partners on my STI status. It is
Mhm.
my job to disclose said STI status and to answer any and all questions that they have for me, so long as they don't violate any of my boundaries.
Mhm.
But me educating you and hand holding and being your teacher, that is not my job.
Mhm.
And I know that if I felt like that, there are probably a ton of other people who feel like they have to come with all of this information, or they feel paralyzed because of all of the information that's out there. They don't know how to put it into words. So I am working on creating a guideline on how to have these conversations and go into it with confidence, and words and phrases that you can use to start the conversation, to questions that you should be asking your partner during these conversations, and how to end the conversation, whether or not it goes well and you get accepted, or if it goes terribly and you get rejected.
Mhm. I am so obsessed. I cannot wait for this.
I know. It's like, my goal, and you're the first person that I'm really telling this to. But so fingers crossed, I'm manifesting it and I hope it happens. But what I really want is for my birthday, I want to throw like a block party, or like, something to get the community together. And at this party, I want to be able to provide a ton of different resources. I want people who work for organizations that do STI testing and education. I want them to come out, host a table, provide free condoms, free Plan B, and free pamphlets for education on where you can go to get tested and what you need to know in your sexual relationships. I want people to come out and provide things for children and families, like where you can go to get resources to help pay your bills, or here goes a bag full of non-perishable food items that you could take home so you guys can feed yourselves. Here
Mm.
goes some clothes if you need clothes. Here goes, some books if you need or want books. Like I want any and everybody to be able to come out and participate and share something with the community. And I want to be able to put my book out around that time. I don't know how much I want to charge for it at the moment, but I do know that to gain entry to the block party, just buy the book. But
Yes. Yes. Oh,
it's gonna be real affordable. I promise. I promise.
oh my gosh. I'm like envisioning your party. Like I am seeing it like in my head. I'm like, there's definitely going to be some dope ass music. There's
Oh
going to
yeah.
be some good food.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And I just see so many people there and I'm like, Cleveland's not too far from me.
Yes. Please come.
Listen,
Absolutely.
little I'll invite myself to any party.
Yes, like, and I'm putting it out there because I really
Yeah.
want to try to hold myself to it. Because there are
Mhm.
so many times where I back down from a really amazing idea because I feel like I don't have the support or the resources or the knowledge to do it. But if I learned anything last year, it's like I got the juice, honey. I,
Mhm.
I got it. I got it in
Yeah.
spades, baby. And it's like I have made so many connections with so many amazing people that I feel would love to be a part of this experience. So it's like I got to get the ball rolling because we already in February. So it's like
Yeah.
August 7th. Come on, come one, come all, please.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, I love this. Because I'm very similar. I'm like, no, nobody's gonna care. Like I'm not bringing anything. It's the reason why I sat for so long on starting my podcast.
Mhm.
There's other people who are qualified. I'm like, no, but there's no me podcast on there. You know what I mean? Like my voice. Nobody has my voice. Nobody has what I bring. I bring my own special sauce to the party. Like, and I love that energy that you bring because it reminds me like, oh yeah, no, I bring it. And we all bring something so different. And I think that's what makes the work so fun is like learning
Mhm.
from other people. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I love that they talk about this and I love that they do it
Yeah.
in this way. Like I am like a huge admirer of like all people in this work. I'm like, wow, you're
Mhm.
so
'Cause
good.
there
That's
are people
cool.
that do so much more than I do, or
Mhm.
they're even more vocal and open about their lifestyle online. And even I get a little bit intimidated, like, ooh, I don't know if I could do that. It's like, but I love that they do that. I
Mhm.
support that they do that because we need people that can do that because they give me hope that, I can get there. I can get
Mhm.
to that point. I can unlock that level of joy and freedom in my life or vulnerability in my life to be able to do what they are doing or do something differently than what they're doing. So I am so excited for whatever is coming this year. It's like I know that there is a lot going on in the world with Stump being back in office. And there's so much going on. Like even in my personal life, I got things going on that kind of take me away from what I really want to be doing. But this year really feels like there's going to be a major shift for me as far as where and how I spend my time and energy and how much of it I get to put into what I really want to do. Because the goal is to make this my life. Like if I could talk about sex all day, I would.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. I love you got to put the good energy out in the universe. I'm a firm believer.
Mhm.
And the universe will bring it back to you. This is the part that I hate the most of the podcast. I know that went by so fast. It always does. This will not be the last time for sure. You are welcome back every day if you want. I always like to end by asking two-part question. Was there anything that you were hoping we would talk about and didn't? And or what advice would you give for the listeners?
Ooh, okay. So for the first question, I feel like this was a fantastic interview. I loved it. No notes, 5 stars, tens across the board, all of it.
That is a testament to you because you are amazing and your information is so powerful.
Thank you. So as far as advice for the listeners, the first part of confidence is not having any.
Mm.
Honestly, I feel like everyone is always so worried or intrigued about where did you get your confidence from? Like I've been asked that a lot. And I honestly don't know where it comes from. Like I could, put it on the fact that I'm a Leo. I could put it on the fact that I've been exposed to a lot of different things and gained a lot of information. And it's only made me feel more comfortable with talking about it. But honestly, it's the fear that pushed me. It's the uncertainty of whether or not people are going to be watching, liking, commenting, or sharing that pushes me to do what I do. There is a quote that I live by, or an acronym per se, that it's the word fear, but each letter stands for face everything and rise. And I remember seeing that when I was in high school, and it has been like burned into my brain because whenever I'm afraid of doing something, saying something, or being a part of something, I remember that I don't live in fear. I face everything and I rise to the occasion.
Oh, you can't end better than that. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. I just appreciate you so much. And I am so glad we've connected and started our lifelong best friendship. You've been promoted throughout this podcast.
Oh, yay. I love that.
I appreciate you so much. And I thank you for being on and for, being so vulnerable in the work that you do and just being an amazing human being. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having this amazing platforms. Like you put your time, your energy, your love, your money into providing this space for us to be able to have this moment. So I thank you because I would not be here to do this if it wasn't for you and what you do.
Now you're gonna make me cry. Don't do it. No one's made me cry on no one person. Only one person made me cry. But that was my sister. So that
Yeah,
doesn't get.
because sisters can always hit the heartstrings.
Absolutely. Oh, well, thank you again so much, and we'll definitely connect. And I will put all of the ways to support you in the show notes for everybody, to follow you and do all of that great stuff. And again, thank you. Honestly, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here and I can't wait to do it again.
Another huge, huge thank you to Essence for manifesting, coming onto the podcast. I am so thankful that we are now best of friends, and I can't wait to read your book. I can't wait to continue supporting all the amazing things that you do. And I can't wait for your big birthday party in the summer. Thank you again. You are absolutely amazing.